So in this video, we're going to talk about how to calculate or make a hillshade from this Bainbridge Island DTM that we just displayed. So as this is a raster data set, we're going to want to go up to here in our toolbar, find raster, and then go to analysis and hillshade. So there's a few options here that we're going to want to set. First, we want to confirm that in fact we do want to calculate the hillshade of this Bainbridge 2015 DTM. These z-factor and scale can, we would want to change those if we had data sets with horizontal and vertical units that differ. For example, if the horizontal units were in latitude and longitude and the vertical units were in feet or meters, we would want to adjust this z-factor to account for this vertical exaggeration. However, in this case, we're lucky because both the horizontal and vertical units are in meters, and so we don't need to change the parameters. Here is azimuth of light. So for the hillshade, we're essentially seeing the topography illuminated from this direction. So I typically like to look at topography from at least two different light angles. So let's pick, the first one we'll be looking from the south, so 180. We can keep the altitude of light at 45. So we scroll down. If we just leave this blank where it says hillshade saved to a temporary file, the output will be saved to a temporary file. If we want to keep it, let's go to save to file, and we're already in this folder with the Bainbridge 2015 DTM. So I like to save the hillshade with a very similar name to the data set. So we'll add hillshade and then 180 to remind ourselves that we're calculating this looking from the south. So you can say save. And what I really like about QGIS is that it actually tells us the GDAL command that it runs to produce the hillshade. So we know what QGIS is doing when we click run. So let's see. And very quickly, here we see our hillshade. Again, we're looking from the south, we're basically lighting the scene from the south. So you can see what the topography here looks like. Now, as I said, I like to calculate topography or the hillshade looking from at least two different directions, typically 90 degrees apart. So let's calculate that second hillshade. So we can go to raster, hillshade. We'll look at these parameters. Now, so here we can see that the default input layer has been set to this Bainbridge 2015 hillshade. So we don't want to calculate the hillshade of the hillshade. So we want to come back here and then make sure that we're still looking at the Bainbridge DTM or digital terrain model. Now, so last time we calculated the hillshade from 180, so let's do 90 degrees away. So let's look at it from the west. So put in 270. And again, we don't want to save to a temporary file, but let's decide where we want to save it. So we can name it very similar to what we had before, hillshade, but instead of the 180, we can put 270. So we'll save, and again, you can see the GDAL command, so I'll press run. And then now we can see the digital terrain model, this time looking from the west. So we can turn them off and notice that they are very different. And we do see very different features in the topography. So it is quite important that we calculate both of these hillshades.